welcome back to another episode of Man, We're Almost 40. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dee.
I'm Roberta Bernice.
And guys, this is our sixth episode. We're like really doing it. Also, it's Friday. It's a Friday. I hope y'all have a really beautiful weekend, safe weekend, because it's Chicago.
True.
So I hope you have a really beautiful weekend. Do something relaxing. We talked a little bit about self-care. So I hope y'all been doing some self-care. I know I have. How's your self-care been going, Roberta?
It's been going. It's a struggle, but I'm getting there.
How's your week been?
It's been a long week. I've been dealing with a lot of personal things, working through them. So that self-care should come in handy.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
It's been a nice week. The week went so fast. Honestly, I felt like my week went so fast. It was like Monday, it's Saturday, it's Sunday, it's Monday. It's like happening.
Oh, wow.
Like I felt like it went really fast. It went from Monday to Friday so quick. The first 4 days were a blur.
It was here and then it wasn't.
It was. It really was. So today we're going to talk a little bit about setting boundaries, enforcing those boundaries, how people cross them, and how to react when that happens. Because we all know someone who do more than they should. It's human nature. There's no judgment. Little judgment, but no judgment. Roberta, have you ever had to set a boundary with anyone?
Absolutely. I've had to set quite a few boundaries.
Ooh, how has that been?
So originally, I didn't know that setting boundaries was healthy. I thought that you just kind of accept people for who they are, and you take it for what it is, and you kind of just push forward. You let them be them, and accept them as who they are, and they come into your life and do what they do, and you just let them do it, and it's okay.
Isn't that crazy? Because it's like a norm. People teach you that that's how you do.
However, it is not okay to let people in your space and in your life, and to allow them to do whatever they want and whatever they will, especially if it interrupts your space and your peace of mind. So I remember having to set a few boundaries with some people that I know personally, and a family member. I'll speak a little bit about the family member. So a lot of people know this family member. You know me, you know exactly who I'm talking about. It is a woman, and I love her dearly. I happen to call her mom. Okay, my mom. Hi, mom. Hi, Donna. Hello.
Hola.
Well, I had to set boundaries with my mother. A lot of people know my mom as I don't even know like what name to call it, but she's very involved with her children. She wants to know if we're okay. She wants to know if something is happening with us, what's going on, has she heard from us? And she won't be okay unless she hears our voice or she physically sees us. So it's difficult sometimes because when I'm in a space and I'm tired and I had a long day at work, sometimes I don't want to have a phone conversation. Or sometimes I don't want to visit or company at the moment, but mama show up. She come knock on the door. She's calling me 15 times in 2 minutes.
15 times in 2 minutes?
2 minutes, girl.
Is this like legit or you being a bit dramatic? Because, we got dramatic personalities.
I'm being legit. Oh my gosh. Y'all know how mamas be doing.
My mama used to do that.
She did.
I ain't going to treat you like that. I used to be so upset with her.
Yes. So, sometimes I have to block her number. Like, say I'm in a meeting at work, like a Zoom meeting or something like that. She'll call because she wants to know, hey, is she okay? What's going on? I haven't heard from you. So sometimes I have to block her, and that's me setting a boundary in that space. And I know that some people may look at it as cruel, like, why would you do that? It's your mama. Mama be calling a lot. That boundary may come in the form of, blocking her call until I'm done with my work session or my work day. Or it may look like saying for the day, hey, mom, you can't come over today.
Yeah.
I need a mental day, and it doesn't include you, unfortunately. And that should be okay. But I don't think that people look at it that way. I think that people, my sisters don't agree with it. They're like, that's our mama, she's getting older. And I understand that, and I do agree with them. That is our mother. She is getting older. And I love my mother, but boundaries must be set, because then I don't have a peace of mind. Then I'm struggling with my day and how that looks. And I don't want to feel bad for setting boundaries. I think boundaries are healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of my big boundaries that I set. I have other ones that I set with other people. But what about you? Have you ever had to set a boundary with someone close to you, like a family member or maybe a work partner or something like that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Your girl set boundaries everywhere. I'm boundary queen nowadays. Like before, not so much, because like you, I didn't know what a boundary was,
Right.
let alone it was a healthy thing or a thing something that I needed. Because as I was saying earlier, as you were talking, like our culture teach you to just accept it. People, that's just your family member.
Yes.
That's just what it is. Oh, that's just your brother. You know how he is.
Yeah.
And people are wanting you to change, but not wanting the toxic person to change.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy at times, so you just go through life thinking that that's just what it is. Even through your frustrations with people, you're like, man, but that's just my brother. I just got to accept it. But as I got older, I started learning about boundaries, and I'm like, oh, I need some of that. I need boundaries. So a boundary that I kind of set was with like my family. So after my mom passed away in 2012, I moved to LA. And while in LA, I wasn't responsible for a bunch of people, but people were calling me to help assist in issues that were taking place here in Chicago. Right? They're like, oh, Miss Lane, this is going on. That's going on. Your brother did that. And people were looking for me to be the one to save it or stop it or change the situation. And, for a while, that was my role. I accepted my role in that space as well.
Yeah.
But when I moved back in like 2016, I'm like, listen, I love y'all. You know what I mean? I want to show up for y'all as a family member, but also, this is what I need. Like, I can't be super duper involved in spaces where I'm your go-to. I need you to kind of figure that out first. And if you can't figure it out, then I'm here to help. Yeah. But I don't want it to be where, anything happened, call Miss Lane, her solving. And because it was too much for me. Emotionally, it was too much. It was weighing me down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a little bit, I had a little bit of resentment because I couldn't do the same with them. I couldn't call them to do this and be this and show up for me like I was doing for them. So it was causing me some resentment in my space. And I love them, but I'm like, listen, it's too much. And I've been doubling down in my recent years, like, hey, this is, being able to ask people for what I need from them and being able to say like, I can come to this event and this is how long I can stay. Like it hasn't always went over well, right? People are like, oh, you being selfish. You don't care about your family. You think you better than us. But it's like, no, I love y'all, but I love me more. And sometimes loving y'all is a lot for me, because like my family and I, like, we're different in a lot. We're similar in some ways, but we're different in a lot of the core ways. Yeah. And I was like tired of being resentful towards them, you know what I mean? Or trying to change people to be who, like, I had to accept them for who they were. And in accepting them for who they were, I had to figure out what was a healthy space for me to be in. And I'm still always kind of evolving and figuring that out. But like certain drama I don't want to be a part of. I have one brother, bless his little spirit. He gets into it with his girlfriend and he'll try to hit me up at like 2:00 in the morning.
Boundaries.
Yes. And I'm like, sir, I love you. I want to be very clear. I do love you, but no, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
If you're going to call me at 2:00 in the morning, let it be for like an emergency. Not because you've been drinking a little bit, and that ain't always go over well. Because he's like, dang, I can't call you. You don't care about me. You don't care about my feelings. And I'm like, I got to do. But I can't handle that. Because when you call me at 2:00 in the morning, I'm thinking something's wrong.
Yeah.
Right? But not that you're trying to shoot the shits.
Right.
You know, so with my immediate family, I had to set boundaries with them and explain to them why I'm setting them, or, you know, what that look like and why I need to. People, you know, don't like to explain themselves, if you will. That's a thing in our culture. I ain't got to explain myself to you. Mm-hmm. But in reality, you do. In order for someone to understand where you're coming from and why something is, you have to explain it to them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so I'll explain it, but, you know, depending on how far they take it. But I want to say right now, they're doing a good job in accepting my boundaries. You know what I mean?
You know what? You said something that made me wonder. Because a lot of times family members, and you know what? Not even family members, but like people in general. Yeah. A lot of times people feel like you're wrong for doing what you're doing. You should feel a type of way, or how could you not feel a type of way from setting those boundaries? But I think it's so interesting because when you think about something, so for example, if you have somebody that's close to you or that you know, doesn't have to be a family member, but anybody, and they're a thief, you know them to be this thing, you would move differently and you would set boundaries with this thief.
True.
You wouldn't let them stay in your house alone because you know that they're a thief. You wouldn't let them hold your purse for you because you know that they're a thief, right? And there's a strong possibility that something can happen. So why is it not the norm that if a situation is disrupting your peace, that it's not okay for you to set a boundary? Why do people think that? Where did that become okay for people to do? And why are you offended when other people do it? Because it's okay. It should be natural. It should be practiced more.
I think maybe it's the way people are looking at it and having emotional intelligence, right? When you have emotional intelligence, you're aware of how your actions affect someone else. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of times people only care about how someone else's actions affect them.
Yeah.
Right? So they're not looking like, how am ID ruining Roberta's day? You know what I mean? That's just who I am. You know, I come in all, you know, aggressive in a way, if that's how I am. But you maybe not be able to deal with someone that's aggressive. Right? That may be too much. You like, can you tone it down a little bit? You know what I mean? But I'm like, what? Who you think you is to ask me to tone it down? Because I don't think there's nothing wrong with my problem. No one else wrong with my behavior. No one else is telling me that it's a problem either. So instead of it being looked at as a problem, it's being looked at as you're the problem.
It's okay. You're making me think about something right now. I've never thought about it until now, like listening to us talk back and forth. Uh-huh. So I have a question for you.
No. Okay.
Do you believe that when you come into a space, and literally the example you just gave, when you come into a space and you say you're aggressive, mm-hmm. and you know what? Nope, I'm going to use me and you.
Okay.
So you know how sometimes I call you and I may like be feeling a little bummed out. Maybe I had a bad day, mm-hmm. right? And you say, I don't want that energy. Ooh. Yes. Have you ever thought about like, dang, I know I may not want that energy, but like maybe she needs to just like have a day. Have you ever thought about that? Like, or do you feel like what you're doing is okay and like I should be okay, and if I'm having a bad day or if I'm bummed out, then I should fix myself immediately to satisfy you?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I just
also because I do that. Well, you know, I guess for me, I can only speak for myself, but for me, when I more so want the excitement when you say hello to me, mm-hmm. not for to carry on through the whole conversation. Mm-hmm. Right? And
greet me with respect.
A little bit. Right? Because I'm like, because, you know, like, be happy to hear from me. Right? That's how I feel. I'd be so excited to talk to you. And I just be like, because sometimes, you know, I'm like, hey, you be like, hey. And I'd be like, okay. But you know what? As we're talking, I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't realize that I was doing that.
No, I just thought about it right now because you gave the example of like somebody being aggressive, right? And then the person be like, "Oh, okay, well, this is just who I am." You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wonder, like, when we do little things with each other, like our friends, our families, our coworkers, and I wonder, like, if the way we are may affect that person. And I wonder if we think about that, are we conscious of when we do things? And should we set our own boundaries when we come into someone else's space?
I think, yeah, we should be. Yeah.
Now, how do you know to do that?
That's true. You know, because you know what? Like, even when I do that, like, that's my way of trying to, like, put a smile on your face in that moment, to take you out that funk in that moment. You know what I mean? Like, because I know, like, say when you're having a bad day, you like, oh, whatever. When somebody come in cracking jokes, it lifts your spirits a little bit.
Does. And smiling and laughter is everything.
Yeah, they say it's the medicine to everything.
It is. You ask me.
So you ask, like, how do you know when to do that? That's a solid question. Like, how do you know when to do that?
Yeah. For me, with you, I know that it gives you joy to hear the person on the other end of the phone be happy when they greet you. And so no matter what type of day I'm having, I try my best to get in that space for you. But sometimes it's too hard to because my day just be so jacked up.
How do I show up for you in that space? How do I respect your boundary in that space? So, you know, I'm coming in like, hey, how do I like meet you?
I don't know. The reason I don't know is because it does help me get out the space, right? In that moment. But then after the phone call, I feel like I just put on a show for that quick little moment. Because a lot of times, you know, you're my safe space. So we have those conversations. I get to tell you what's going on and you help me through that. You help me navigate my day, right? But I can get off the phone with you and still, you know, feel a type of way, get on the phone with somebody else. And now I'm in the habit of performing. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, you know, and a lot of times we do that to please and satisfy other people. And then people be like, man, I didn't even know she was struggling. She just committed suicide like that. Nigga, you told her to be happy every time she talked to you.
That's true.
So when do I know to set boundaries? And when is it safe for you to set boundaries?
Good questions. You got some good questions today, Bird. What is the best way? Because I would hate to have you performing, because I get that when you feel like you have to perform. Because when I feel that way, I isolate myself.
Really?
Yeah. Them days when I'm like, Bird, I'm having a day.
Yes, you do.
Like when I'm like, hey, I'm having this kind of a day. And you like, can we talk? And I'm just like, oh, is it an emergency? Are you okay? You like, and I'm like, oh, today I need this day.
Yes.
Because, you know, sometimes like that, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, I get the whole performing thing.
But you don't feel like in that moment, like, because, and I'm making a point, y'all. So you don't feel like in that moment when I call you and I want to talk to you or whatever, and you can't be there, you don't feel bad about that? Like, you don't feel bad that, dang, when she calling me and she may need something. And I know you do. You very good when you're like, you all right? You okay? Is it an emergency? Because I know that you'll jump out that space immediately to come to my aid. But in those times when you don't, how does that make you feel?
Well, like, I'm perfectly fine. Like, I'd be perfectly fine. Like, because to me, I'm like, okay, I asked if that was okay, if she was okay. Like, do she need me? So for me, I feel like I've done my part. Like, even though I couldn't, but if you needed me to, I would. You know what I mean? Because I care about what's going on with you, and, you know, and how you feeling it, and if it's affecting you. You know what I mean? So I can come out that space for you if that's what you need from me. I think you and I have a really good understanding in how to move with each other. You know what I mean? So you, because, you know, I'll come out that space for you. You know, if you was really in that space that I would. You know what I mean? So I think that you haven't, I want to say maybe you haven't been in that space where I've kind of shut down in them different days and you needed me and I didn't come through. Has that ever been a situation?
There has been a few situations where I would have been okay if you were available. However, it didn't make or break my situation because I got through it in other ways. But I'm so glad you asked that question, because a lot of times we depend on other people to get us through situations. And while that may be okay, we have to know and understand how to move through things on our own, and we have to normalize that. It should be okay. Now, I'm not saying don't lean on your support, don't call on the people that you need. Do that. Do whatever you feel like you need to do in that moment to make sure that you're okay. But sometimes when people are not available, what does that mean for you?
Yeah.
Does that mean you go make a weird decision, or you go and do something because, oh my God, you can't talk to anybody? What do you do? And I think we talk about this all the time, self-care. Like that's that time and that moment where you need to kind of love on yourself a little bit, give yourself some self-care, be okay with being alone for an hour or two.
Yeah.
You know?
That's interesting that you say that, because I like to be very much self-reliant. Your girl likes to be self-reliant. So I completely understand that whole regulating yourself first. You know what I mean? Because I believe in that as well. Because like you said, people aren't going to always be available. And I think that's when I started to learn how to regulate myself. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes when I consulted people or vented to them, their opinions clouded my judgment. Somewhere I was looking for validation in wherever I was coming from. Right. And I do like when people would be like, no, D, you wrong. But also, like, people like to be validated in their feelings. Like, But when I had the chance to take a step back, I was like, I could have handled that differently. I didn't have anyone else in my head like agreeing with me when I was wrong. You know what I mean? So it allowed me to see the full picture of everything. I'm like, okay, why am I really mad right now? Right? Like, yeah, that made me mad, but like, I'm madder than I should be right now. Yeah. And I start to question, and then I'm like, you know what? Maybe they having a bad day. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. I don't know these people. Sometimes I have a bad day, and it doesn't always look like this. It can look like that. You know what I mean? And something that I've been working on is like trying to change my behavior in that space. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So the next time I'm like, okay, I don't want to react like this. So I'm gonna actively try not to react like that. I'm gonna try to, what am I really upset about? Right? Pinpointing what has triggered me essentially. Mm-hmm. And then going from there. So when I'm having an issue and I can't talk to somebody, I'm like, okay, I'll even talk out loud because I'm good for it. I'm good for it, I'm good for it. Because in reality, a lot of times we don't need to talk to anyone. We just need to hear our thoughts out loud, right? Because when you hear your thoughts out loud, then then you hear what you're saying.
Yes.
Because sometimes even when you're telling a person a story and you hear it out loud, you're like, well, that sounds stupid. Mm-hmm. Right, so I'll do that by myself, and I'm like, man, I'm mad. Like, why they think they did this? Why this? Why that? Then I'm like, first of all, who are you? Right, who are you to judge this person's life or to say this or do that? Like, maybe they felt offended by you, and then it went this way. Could I have done better? I reflect on myself more than I judge other people. Not saying I don't judge people sometimes, but I will reflect like, okay, how could I have done better? What could I have done differently? Was I aggressive? Was I this? Was I that? But yeah, so not being able to talk to somebody sometimes helped me kind of work the situation out on my own. So I think it's a good idea for people to learn how to do that, because in reality, people aren't going to always be available, and you do need to self-regulate. You need to know, you need to work through those things, right?
And it's okay if they're not available. You don't have to feel a type of way about it. Yeah. Because they may not be available because they're going through something too. And I think that we need to give each other grace. We need to give each other the space to be. Yeah. Sometimes we require so much from people, and sometimes people only have a little bit left to give. And once they've exhausted that, then they turn into a different person. Yeah. It's not to point fingers or to put blame anywhere, but just to say, be mindful of the other people that surround you. And I said all that just to bring us back to this point. your boundaries are important, but don't forget other people have boundaries too.
Yeah.
When people set boundaries, don't get offended by it. Just be okay with it and understand that those boundaries are being set for them so that they can be okay. The same way you set your boundaries, other people have them too. And it's okay. You sent me something on what was it? I don't know, one of these platforms. It was a video of a woman asking this man a question. Okay. And you know what I'm talking about. The lady said, when do you cut off a toxic person or something like that? And she was like, so when are you supposed to cut off a family member or someone that's basically doing too much? And he said, well, how much poison do you drink before you die? Or he said something like that. And the way that it hit my soul, and I'm like, OMG. Yeah. For those of you that don't know when to set boundaries or how to set boundaries, I think that you need to understand, in the midst of all of this, you're the most important thing. You only have one body to take care of. Once that body is gone, you're gone. You only have this one life that you're living. And if you don't protect it, then you won't live a happy life. So you have to be careful when people come into your life and they want to basically run you or control you. It may not be malicious. Control doesn't always come in a form of evil. Control can be something that people consider as good, but not necessarily good. Your mom wanting the best for you, that's a great thing. But it doesn't mean she should be forcing you to do all of the things that make you great. Because what if your greatness isn't the greatness that she has in mind? Same thing with your lover, right? With your life partner. They may want you to be a certain type of way or to move a certain type of way, and they may want perfection from you. But what if you're not a person that loves perfection? What if you're a person that just want to be, and you accept what you are and who you are, and you're okay with that? So, yeah.
Ooh, Roberta deep today, y'all. She deep today.
Boundaries, interesting topic.
So I advise you guys to go out, set some boundaries if you haven't, or if you've been thinking about setting those boundaries and you just don't know how to do it, right? It's okay. You got this. Set them. Maybe watch a YouTube video, read a book on how to set boundaries, right? But don't be afraid to set a boundary with a family member, friend, whomever. Like, you have to put yourself first, right? Because at the end of the day, what they tell you on the airplane, that you have to, if the plane is going down, please put your mask on first before you help your kids, your elderly parents, whomever. Because in order for your people to be okay, you have to be okay first. Care for yourself first. But we finna get into this game real quick. It is called Password. Dun, 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 dun. Roberta's going to explain the rules once again, right? Tell you guys how to play it, how it goes. We're going to do 2 questions apiece and go from there.
All right. So, Password is a very simple game. Basically, there is a word that we call a password, and we're going to give each other clues to guess the password. But we can only give 1-word clues and 1 word at a time.
Yes.
All right. Category is food.
Okay.
Person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the clue. Person. And the category is food.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a chef? Chef.
No. Brownies.
Person in brownies. Brownies. A bakery. Baker?
Yes. The baker.
Okay.
Bakery.
Nice. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. You ready?
Right.
Okay. I'm going to do mix. So it's going to be a different category. I don't know. So. Oh my God. Okay.
1 word.
Coconut.
Palm tree.
Corona.
Lemon.
Okay. The opposite of that. Oh,
Lime.
yes.
You wasn't supposed to say the opposite. You're supposed to say opposite.
Okay, I'm sorry. Opposite. I did though, because I was like the opposite. Then I said opposite.
It was too late.
I tried to clean it up.
This is mix.
Okay.
White.
Black.
No.
Oh, okay.
Fly.
Moth.
Good guess. No.
Caterpillar.
Bird.
Parakeet.
No.
Geese.
No.
Okay.
Shotgun.
Oh my God, turkey.
She out, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
Too many clues. You
Fair.
out.
What is it?
You sure?
I'm positive.
You give up. Dove.
A dove.
Yes.
I didn't get that one. All right, last one for Roberta. Mix is the category. And crazy.
Roberta.
Psychological.
Therapist.
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
This is one word. It's just abbreviated.
No. I'm saying like what? Cuckoo.
If I say cuckoo, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
Crazy.
Okay.
Maniac.
Okay.
Manic.
Okay.
Sociopath. Psychopath.
Yes.
What?
It was psycho.
Oh, psycho.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like crazy. All right, y'all. I hope y'all did better than us guessing these words. If not, don't judge yourself or us. Play us mess up too. That's the end of our episode. We hope you guys do some self-care, set those boundaries, love yourself. Be okay if your family members are setting boundaries. Boundaries are healthy, right? Like, and people love you. Remember that.
They're healthy and
needed.
they should be normalized.
Agreed. And if you feel like, oh my God, that's not true, you're the person we're talking to.
Absolutely. It's you.
It's you, sis. It's you, bro.
Yeah.
My people. Whomever. But now, we love you guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in each week and loving on us. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Drop!